I see the green we're streaming line now, so maybe now we've started.
Why isn't the game popping up?
Important question.
Oh no. This is freaking out because I minimized it?
What?
Alright. Well, the game's crashed.
Great.
I guess it might not like being minimized. That's fine. That's fine. We're launching it again. And
It doesn't like being minimized.
We're going to see what happens.
You know what my favorite part of the whole Pizza Hut Taco Bell thing is you mentioned specifically in the Demolition Man video the whole Pizza Hut Taco Bell thing. Yet there are still people in the comments going, I'm from Europe, and actually...
They don't watch the video.
It was Pizza Hut.
They see the opening and they start making a comment and they haven't watched the whole video yet. That's what it is.
I just don't understand that. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Because, I don't know.
Why would you do that, Rich?
This is an impulse thing. Taco Bell. I know something that you don't, but you didn't watch long enough to know that we did know.
Right.
Whatever, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
How's everyone doing?
Hi, everybody.
How's
No
everyone
snake tonight. Mostly because Jack forgot the capture card. And that's my bad.
We'll play it at some other point. That game's not going to last us more than an hour.
That's the other thing is I played it for a little bit as we were setting up, and holy moly, we are not going to get very long out of that. And so we figured we would take this opportunity to look back on a game.
They got rid of the starting screen? Or just maybe like, tutorial?
Yeah. We're going to take a look back on 20XX, a game that we haven't looked in on in a while. Check it out. Yeah, a little tutorial area. It's fine. Fine. 23 minutes late. Yeah.
Shit happens.
You guys know ish. It's all in ish time. It's all in ish time. We're here now. We're ready to rock and roll. Just, have such a good time. You read that news today about the pop culture thing? Did you read that news? Pop culture news?
I didn't. What the hell are you referring to?
Oh, big pop culture news.
What?
Some sort of something related to movies or comic books. It's pretty great. Maybe games. It's just a bit in my head only.
So you're making something completely up.
Of course. Oh yeah, I'm sure something has happened.
Okay.
I'm sure something has happened today. Don Rickles, yes, Don Rickles, comedy legend Don Rickles.
Glory.
Ace. I get it, Jack. It's not funny, but I get it. Right. Yeah, the Scorpio specs got revealed for the new Xbox. The new Xbox console, codenamed Scorpio,
Yeah.
is set to become the most powerful console ever, which doesn't really say a lot because it's just come out after consoles.
Basically weaker than a PC.
It looks impressive. The specs look very impressive, but at the end of the day.
So it's like a PC where you can't mod. Xbox, Microsoft has complete control over all of the products you purchase on it.
Yep.
There's no mouse support.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm sold. Gotta have that 4K.
I'm sure it's gonna have 4K. It just doesn't matter, and it won't matter to anyone if they continue to have their games non-console exclusives. Eventually, even hardcore Xbox One fans will be like, "Wait a minute, I can play these games on a PC and I can play other games?
They won't.
You don't think?
No. They would have done that years ago if that were the case.
No, well, no, but years ago, Xbox had exclusives.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, oh, well, I need my Xbox so I can play Titanfall. I
Yeah.
need my Xbox so I can play this game or that game. But now that all of their exclusives are going to the Windows Store,
All right, this is a shitty area.
you just got to get good.
Yeah, well, that's easier said than done.
That's true.
Fuck
That's
face.
true. What? On the CPU side, there are in the Scorpio there are 8 custom times 86 cores at 2.3 gigahertz.
Can I play Doom with a mouse?
Nope.
I don't give a shit.
Or you might be able to. Like on the PS4, there are some games that offer mouse support. Which was a constant comment for ours for the Horizon Zero Dawn review. Some games you can have mouse support, but not Horizon Zero Dawn. But at least for the PS4, there are some games that you can get.
Which games?
I don't know the.
And are
exact
we
list.
talking about like shooters, or are we talking about like real-time strategy games?
Probably both. Probably both. I don't have a list. You know why? If I'm gonna play a game with a mouse, I'm gonna play it on my PC.
All right, I'm all kinds of shit at this game now.
It's just gonna take you a couple deaths to get your mojo back. Talk about Bucky's arms. Oh, I'll talk about Bucky's arms all freaking day. You don't even know about Bucky's animatium arms. And yeah, I've heard that whole Sony Spider-Man thing. I see the chat talking about that. Have you heard about the Sony Spider-Man thing?
What is the Sony Spider-Man thing?
So, Sony is threatening to take Spider-Man out of future Marvel Cinematic Universe films after
They're threatening to take Spider-Man out of the.
MCU after Thanos, after whatever that one's called.
Why?
Oh, because they're incredibly dumb. What?
Oh, bats killed me or something.
You got a glory achieved, though. Yeah, it was just like, well, maybe we'll take him back, and by the way, it's just not going to happen.
Why? They're stupid. We've established stupidity, right?
Oh, so you think they're stupid enough to let it happen?
Yeah.
Ooh. We'll see how much money they can get.
Egos and idiocy. That's how the film business works.
Egos and Idiocy. A story by Rich Evans. Talk about Let It Die. It's free for PS4, you fucks. It was pretty mediocre.
We played it.
We played it. It was pretty mediocre. If you're absolutely desperate for a Dark Souls fix, maybe. But it got old real fast. The levels got repetitive real fast. If you need a Dark Souls Bloodborne fix, then maybe. Didn't do it for me. Even at free, didn't do it for me. Then Sony will have to reboot again. Yeah, that's...
No, I don't think they will. They just have to not mention the Marvel Cinematic Universe after that.
Sure.
That's all they have to do.
So, like, do you think their evil master plan was like, we'll get him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they'll produce to make him good again, then we'll take our toy back after they've fixed it up?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That wouldn't shock me one little bit.
What? What? Yeah, I mean, and as long as... Who's the new one? Tom Middleton? Is that his name? Is that the new Spider-Man?
Yeah.
As long as Tom Middleton's on board, it'll still count.
He likes money.
I'm sure just about any actor would like being Spider-Man.
Breaking news! Sony did something stupid.
Well, like what I'm trying to figure out in my head is fans, right?
They obviously don't give a shit about fans.
Oh no.
They made Ghostbusters.
Oh no, what I'm saying is
They resent the fans.
what Sony would be counting on here, if we're going to go off of our current theory, which I like.
They're willing to send the fans under the bus as sexist because they made a shitty fucking ill-advised Ghostbusters reboot.
Right?
Sony don't give no fucks about the fans.
Well, no. I'm not asking how Sony feels about their fans. What I'm asking is, what would the fan reaction be if Sony made Spider-Man leave the MCU?
Extremely negative.
Right.
So what?
So would it behoove them?
We've established that they're stupid.
They're stupid,
and
absolutely.
don't like the fans.
But do you think that the fans would not see the movie? That's
Fans are also stupid. And fans, here's the thing about fans.
Yeah.
They love logos.
They do love logos.
They love logos that they're familiar with.
Yeah. Everyone likes the Spider-Man logo. That's true.
Even if they have, they can bitch about that logo after the fact. They love logos.
Yeah. So to ensure that Spider-Man doesn't leave the MCU, fans would have to not see the movie, and fans are going to see the movie no matter what.
Yeah.
So I guess nothing matters.
Yes.
Great.
This is a lesson I learned many years ago.
Great. I love it. I'm with you. I'm on board.
You know, it was critically acclaimed at the time it came out.
What?
Attack of the Clones.
Was it?
The single worst movie ever made.
It was critically acclaimed?
Fans loved it.
Did critics love
It got the Ebert 3.5, 4-star treatment.
Really?
Yeah.
Ay, that's crazy.
It's the best Star Wars movie. I like that logo, the Star and Wars.
The thing I liked about it is it was about wars, but then there was a star in front of the wars, and that was pretty neat. That was a pretty neat thing. Comic fans have been through a lot of this shit before on a smaller scale. That's true. Space Jack 2084. Comic book fans, though, we keep coming back. We keep coming back to that same shit.
Well, stop.
I know there was a big hubbubaloo recently about Marvel's diversity initiative. Have you heard about this? Speaking of comics.
Okay.
Comic book stores have claimed recently that there haven't been good sales for all of their new heroes. You know, Spider-Gwen, Miss Marvel, the new Thor.
I thought these things were doing great.
Well, this was the big news where they were like they actually aren't selling well, and you know we don't as comic book store owners we don't like this.
Maybe if you've been a fan of Thor for the last 20 or 30 years, you
Right.
don't like it when they take the character you've been following for the last 20 or 30 years and throw him in the garbage heap. Maybe fans of that character don't like that.
Right. So that was the news that came out a few days ago. More news that we got more recently is that only pertains to sales of the comics in comic book stores, in brick and mortars.
Yeah. Because that's where the old fans go.
That's where the old fans go. But sales overall of those new books are up.
Oh, because they've thrown their old fans under the bus? They've said, fuck off.
Well, no, because there's no room for growth with their old fans.
Yeah.
Their old fans want one thing and one thing only.
I get it. I'm just pointing out how much you matter to these people.
Oh, right. You don't matter at all. Right. But I guess that's like my major point was like these old fans are very similar to what you're saying about like they only want the one logo that they're used to. They want the same storyline over and over again. And that doesn't do anything good for Marvel. That doesn't let them make new products that can appeal to more people. And overall, book sales are up of these new characters, these more diverse characters. But their sales are up in trade paperbacks. They're up on digital sales. They're up in places that are not brick and mortars, because brick and mortars might not be where these people go to shop. But brick and mortar people are very upset about this because, of course, that's what they sell. Nothing matters to anyone.
Question is, how long are the new fans going to stick around? Are they going to be as loyal? Are they going to be reading comic books for the next 30 years? Or is this is a faddish thing? We have diversity now. I'm going to support the diversity. And then they get bored.
Right.
And then they don't read anything else.
It depends on how good the books are, right?
If they're not really, like, huge fans of comic books, it's just like, this is an interesting thing that's going on now. It's like a fad. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Well, you know what? But you could still get the people that get into it because of the fad, but then get hooked by the story.
Yeah.
And really, the only thing Marvel is worried about at this point is workshopping ideas for later movies. Right? That's all they care about. Is like, what can we turn into a movie later? Because that's where the money is. Comic books are cute. Instead of having to like just figure out which characters work and spend a lot of money in movies, we can figure that out in comic books. That's way cheaper. Then we'll take the character that people universally like. We'll go through enough story arcs where we can focus group what story people like from that character, and boom, then we got a movie in 20 years.
This works as long as superhero movies are still popular.
Right. Right. Nice Mega Man X ripoff. Yes, this is 20XX. It's like Mega Man X, except for the levels are procedurally generated.
Comic books
Comic books
are going to die sooner or later. Maybe not images with like word captions, but comic books as you know them are going to die sooner or later.
I don't know about that.
Yes.
Die?
Yes.
Be non-existent?
Yes.
No.
Why not?
There is proven to be a continual niche market for these things. There are still plays being, like, people still go out to see plays, Rich.
People age.
Yes.
People age. Throughout your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and your 60s.
Yes.
Comic books you get for like a nickel or a dime at the fucking drugstore, at the grocery store. They're by the checkout, and kids would read them. They were cheap.
Yeah.
Here's your kid, enjoy it, your kid. There was always new kids.
Yeah.
Getting into comic books.
There's still new kids getting into comic books.
Now there's adults that go into a dark, gloomy store that's unwelcoming to buy their comic books.
That's true.
And they're not written for kids, and you're not getting the influx of children, because children have video games now, and what do they give a fuck about a fancy coloring book that's already been colored?
There are still kids getting into comics. They're just buying them digitally.
I'm very curious how digital comics are doing with a new fresh audience,
new readers, right?
With kids, and will they stick around?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I still think there's a market out there. I still think they can bring in new blood, but they're not going to bring in new blood unless they, change up their characters a little bit.
Rich doesn't seem to realize that this stuff does great digitally. Well, I don't have numbers, so I can't say.
Stores don't exist anymore. It's all hipsterized and modern in comic shops now. Oh, listen, my comic shop is a dark and unwelcoming place.
Where do you go?
Huh?
Where do you go?
Well, and I don't want to say dark and unwelcoming. It's welcoming to me because.
Oh, sure.
I would be not nervous. I'd be hesitant to go in there if I was new, because comic book shops are intimidating. I would be intimidated. I go to Collector's Edge.
Okay.
I go to Collector's Edge, but you know what? I haven't been there in a while because I get most of my comics digitally now.
Is that the place by the Science and Surplus?
No,
is that place?
That's Lost World of Wonders.
Okay.
Lost World of Wonders is a fine. They're both fine comic book stores, but they're all very intimidating. wall-to-wall comics. You don't understand the organization. Some comic book places aren't that nice to new people, aren't that welcoming to new people. The first comic book store I went to, not this Collector's Edge, a different place, was not very welcoming to me.
Okay.
The guy was a total jerk. Total jerk. High Street CEO. Well, that's the thing. You can buy digital comics or physical comics on Amazon, get them shipped to you for normal prices, and you don't have to deal with jerks at the comic book store. Most of them have like preview pages that you can read anyway. I get all my comics digitally, and I love that. Not only that, all the comics I get digitally, I always wait for the trade. I always wait for the collection because it's
Not those super great.
These guys suck. I always wait for the trade. I love the. I like to see the whole storyline in one go.
Fucking.
Oh, Armiller's right here. Is going into hobby shops for something you're not fully invested in is always a little weird. People usually seem a little off-putting because they're either not willing to help or almost seem like they're subconsciously defending their hobby interest to an outsider. That's why you just need to not give it so much of a fuck. No, and that's really true, but like that's kind of the inherent downside of comic book shops is they're very intimidating to new readers. Flame Shield. Like it took me a long time to find a comic book store that, you know, I felt comfortable asking questions. And you know, this was pre-internet days. But just like, so what's going on with this character? Is this a story like where do I start with this story arc? And you don't want someone to look at you like you're an idiot. Where you're like, well, this story seems cool. Is this the first issue of this story? Do I have to read another book? Or
I'm so used to people looking at me like an idiot.
Well, I'm used to it. That doesn't mean I like it. But you know, then you find some people who are like, oh, well, let me show you what you want to read. Oh yeah, this is pretty nice. And if you like this book, might I recommend this book? Some music shops can be like that. Oh yeah, like our Miller said, any kind of hobbyist store. Like I would be terrified to go into like a record store that sells vinyl. Like, what's going on here? Oh, you don't know what vinyl is?
Oh, I know. That's why I'm not interested.
Right. Games of today's TV cartoons. Do kids even need to read comics with things like video games and cartoons?
Yes, they don't.
You don't.
Yes, they don't.
I was gonna say you don't need to read anything, but
Yeah.
you know, something that my children enjoy an incredible amount is Dave Pilkey books. You know, you probably don't know who Dave Pilkey
No.
is. I wouldn't imagine you do because you don't have children. He writes Captain Underpants. You know, have you seen the trailer for that movie?
I haven't seen the trailer, but I'm familiar with what it is.
Okay, so
I'm going to casual.
The Captain Underpants books are quasi comic books and quasi chapter books. Like there's large chunks of text, but there's also a lot of pictures. And Dave Pilkey also just writes straight up comic books, but you know they're meant for a younger audience. But they're not big like comic books. They look like normal books.
Yeah.
My children freak the fuck out every time there's a new Dave Pilkey book. They're great. They're super funny. I say that counts as a comic book that kids are getting. That's a gateway comic.
You know what's got me fucked up here?
What?
Zelda and the AB switch. It's now carried over to another game. I keep hitting cancel. Can you believe all the fucking weeaboos commenting on that Zelda? They do it in Japan. Do you live in Japan, jackass?
Well, you know, on the PlayStation, the confirm is actually the rightmost button. So, you know, because we obviously live in Japan here, in Wisconsin. Japan, Wisconsin. Can we get back to talking about tacos? Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people were commenting on our controller problems, which I don't know was a legitimate problem to me, or is a legitimate problem for me still to this day. Want to check out the store, see if there's any new games, which of course there's not. You got the Snake game, and you constantly hit the back button when you want to hit the confirm button, and it's annoying. The weeboos? What do you call them?
Weeboos?
They're not helpful, Rich. They're not helpful.
The pal, they do it like that. That makes it fine, even though I don't live in this pal. Oh God, I wanted to strangle them.
Sometimes the commenters are not very helpful, Rich. You know that? Like I don't want to break the internet here, but sometimes commenters are just not helpful. Sometimes YouTube's just not that helpful.
Damn, I thought there'd be something under there. There was not.
We've been hit with so many copyright claims in the past few days.
Oh, from Nintendo?
From Nintendo. Obviously, like the entire Zelda prereq claimed.
Oh, of course.
But we were able to Jim Sterling them because I used that Your clip. And Your is owned by Sony, so Sony and Nintendo can fight it out for our minuscule ad revenue. And I'm very happy about that.
There's something down there?
There's nothing.
What makes you so damn sure?
But almost all of our... What? Jammed. Rich.
How do I disable traps?
Huh? You gotta... Oh. Or that. You have 8 seconds, Rich. Glory achieved.
All right.
So our 1-2 switch attack kills might restore health. Nice. Our 1-2 switch stream cut up claimed. Our new Zelda one that went up today claimed. You know which one wasn't claimed though? Snipper Clips.
Huh.
Snipper Clips was not claimed.
Well, is that a Nintendo game?
Right. That's the question. I don't know. So that one wasn't claimed. Also, I'm dealing with a really weird claim. I just went back to look through all of our claimed videos because every once in a while one will sneak up on me. And my solo stream of The Flame and the Flood got claimed recently.
All right.
Which is strange. And so, I look it up and it's it's from where the songs are heavily featured. And it was claimed by a record company. And so I go to the website of the makers of that game, because sometimes, like, for example, we once got claimed for a Rocket League stream.
Yeah.
And I think I went through this with people before, but it's my belief that some people extort streamers or Let's Players.
Yeah.
And so, like, for example, if you put up a song on CD Baby then technically owns the rights to digitally distribute that music. And so anyone who uses that music, even if you have permission from the artist, CD Baby could theoretically put a claim on your YouTube video, even if you have permission. And this happened a while back with
Son of a bitch.
with Rocket League music. We got a bunch of Rocket League strikes, actually by claims, not strikes. Just claims. Oh, Rich, so close.
Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm too deep, Jack.
Do it. Just do it. Just do it. No!
All my fucking health for this shit.
Better be worth it.
Oh, it won't be.
Oh! That's a kick in the balls right there.
She doesn't have balls.
That's a kick in the robo-tits right there. So in any case, we got claimed. We got claimed by CD Baby. CD Baby was taking our ad revenue from our Rocket League streams, even though on who does that? Not Niantic. Who does Rocket League? Psionic.
Sure.
On their website, it explicitly says you have permission to use the music or monetize as long as the music is being used as part of the game and not as a standalone.
Yeah.
So I countered the claim, and it was immediately accepted, countered, and we now get to monetize all of our Rocket League videos. But what a fucking scam by CD Baby! If they just claim 1 million videos, and some people won't know to counter them, just make a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. I think it was a similar situation with the Flame and the Flood people. So I emailed them and I said, hey, I recently got a copyright claim from these people using this music, and I just wanted to know if that's a normal thing or if I actually have permission to monetize these videos.
Yeah.
And the Flame and the Flood people were very good. They got back to me really quickly and said, you can absolutely monetize this. We'll look into why you got these. We'll look into why you got these claims put against you, and we'll make sure that the record company knows that
Right.
YouTubers have permission. So, like, that was really nice. So then I was free to counter the claim, but I think there's some shady business happening in YouTube claim.
What?
Yeah. If you could believe that. Gamers Union, anyone? Oh, then then there's a whole different ball of worms there.
Are you anti-union, Jack?
I'm not anti-union. Unions have the potential. Whoa. Where am I going to fall? Where am I going to fall? Where am I going to fall? Unions have the potential to do very good things, Rich. Unions also have the potential to do very bad things. Really, that's just all of humanity. But I think there are stories of unions doing very good work, and there are stories of unions doing very bad things. But
Oh, shit. Yeah!
where do I fall? Where do I fall? The down parts of unionizing, like unionizing Let's Players, is then you're also asking Let's Players to unite ideology under a single banner. You know,
Shit.
we're local Let's Players 103, and we have voted to not play any 2D pixel platformers, right? And then you have to go along with that ideology.
I suck. I suck so much.
That's it, Leftover Beefcake. Leftover Beefcake says, basically, large groups of people can either be cool or they can suck. That's I know. You know what? I'm dealing with some hard-hitting truths here, everybody, and I'm sorry about that. Are you going to start posting your reviews on Twitch? We have no plans to do that.
Why not? Why not?
Well, it would half our views.
Would it have them or wouldn't have them, Jack?
It would split our views. In some way, it would split our views. Right?
All right.
I'd say all or nothing. All or nothing. And unfortunately, there's just no compelling reason to go over to Twitch. They would probably be a little more lenient as far as ad revenue with something like the Nintendo debacle. But they also don't have the viewer base that YouTube has. If there was a compelling reason to, like, for example, if Twitch said, hey, you upload to us, we can give you a bigger percentage of the ad revenue, something like that. Maybe.
That would never happen.
That would never happen. That would never, ever happen. But, I'm just saying, if there were a compelling reason to, I'm not married.
Shit.
I'm not married to YouTube.
What the hell?
What? Interesting. It's better to upload it anywhere you can, Jack, says Harkwell Wolverine. Even if you might siphon off some of your YouTube views, you can gain exposure to other viewers on Twitch. That's possible.
Yeah.
That's possible. Should we experiment with our next one?
I'm for it.
Rich is for experimentation. Okay. Do you wanna do both or do like a
No, both.
Twitch exclusive?
Both.
Both? All right. Because in order to get a full picture, then we would also need a Twitch exclusive. See what kind of views we could pull as just a Twitch exclusive for full experimental value. Ooh, or maybe like a timed exclusive. Yeah, like for the first week, it'll be on Twitch, and then we'll put it up on YouTube. Something like that.
All right. No.
No. Couldn't you get more of an audience and then more money through subs and stuff?
Potentially, yes. That's why I want to do it.
That potentially, yes. But in general, YouTube has the largest audience. It also has
Yes.
more competition. So, and our YouTube channel is still growing. We still get subs, new subs every day
More people might potentially find us
on YouTube.
on Twitch that just don't know about us.
Possible. Next one we'll try our dual upload. See what that does to numbers, and then we will work on some sort of Twitch exclusive review. Bum bum bum. It's my first live stream. Welcome, Dreamer TK. I don't think that's true. Oh, you have the winky emoji. I get it. Why do people drive their cars into Taco Bells? Because they want that taco. They want that motherfucking taco.
Nobody wants that fucking Taco Bell taco.
I love
that
Taco Bell.
shit is fucking garbage.
I love it unironically. Rich. I fucking love Taco Bell.
It is literally the worst fast food.
I love it. It's the greatest. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're really good at this game, Rich. Well, fuck you too.
Hey, I've been ignoring tips. Sorry, everybody.
It's been like a year since we talked about this game.
Yeah.
It's been that long since I've played it.
Well, and you know what? It's good to see what's new about it. How you feeling about it? Hey guys, great review. Yes, our Demolition Man review finally came out. We shot that, it feels like 2 months ago.
Yeah, a while ago.
We shot that a long time ago. But I thought it was a good edit. Jay did a good job.
Reviews aren't time sensitive.
Right. That's the nice thing about them. And you know what? More so, Rich, it was just really good to rewatch Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Great. Fun movie. Let's see here. I'm currently drinking some Crystal Head vodka. No joke. It's really fucking good. Any chance to continue our XCOM run soon, says Humberto.
You know what? I have been thinking about that lately. Yeah, we could do that soonish.
Okay, great.
Next time we got no idea what to play, I'll fire that shit up.
Sometimes it's hard just to think of stuff to play. Jack, your Isaac shirt on Best of the Worst led me to watching Indie Game the Movie, which made me buy Super Meat Boy and get back into games for the first time since the 90s.
Oh my god.
You single-handedly made me a gamer again. I'm sorry?
Why are you sorry?
That's a lot of time and money. Gone now. I guess I'm sorry or congratulations. However you're feeling about being a gamer again. Super Meat Boy is great. Super Meat Boy is a great game. That is a favorite of mine. Indie Game the Movie is a good one. Speaking of Indie Game the Movie, NoClip, as part of their Exploration series, just released their Jonathan Blow The Witness talk.
Uh-huh.
And it was basically just 45 minutes of Jonathan Blow,
I made a lot of bland puzzles, and it got hyped.
and it got super hyped. But what I did not know, what I did not realize is there is another layer to The Witness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it got spoiled for me a little bit because I watched the interview because I didn't care about ever playing The Witness
Right,
again.
right.
And the other layer
Is stupid.
is stupid. But there is an unspoken layer. But I think it's super stupid. If that counts for anything. But he was really trying for something, Jonathan Blow. And and it's good just to hear people who make games talk about making games. So I still like the documentary, no clip documentary. Jonathan Blow made an art. Yes, that's exactly what he did.
He made the art.
He made the art. But
Wait, what did I walk past? What was that?
what is that?
I was looking at the chat, and I didn't see what that was.
That's like a little thing of you.
Yeah, no.
Huh.
Oh, son of a bitch. That could have been something really exciting.
It could have been.
Oh, not this douchebag. Oh, this is going to go great.
Tiberius Kirk says Demolition Man won the Movie Dick's first wheel spin on Wednesday night just hours before the review went up. Kismet, absolutely. Or just that Demolition Man's a great movie.
It's got flaws.
Huh?
It's got flaws.
Of course it has flaws. It has major flaws. Dennis Leary is one of those major flaws. Right. Anonymous says, Jack, I heard you like Run the Jewels. Have you checked out their remix albums where they replaced all the instrumentation with cat sounds? It's fucking stupid and kind of genius. I've not listened to it. I've heard of it. And someone shared that with me, and I did not click on it because I want to enjoy Run the Jewels without thinking about horrible cat shrieks. If that makes any sense.
All right, I'm not doing good here at all. Jack, I'm doing quite terrible tonight.
How long have we been streaming?
That's 7.
Okay, so not that long.
Why, what is your...
just for cutting them up into YouTube videos later. I like I like at
Well,
least an hour.
If you're thinking about switching it, what the hell would you even want to switch it to?
Well,
I mean...
go to your XCOM run. Like, who cares, right? We're just gibbering anyway. Who are connected to Twitch for 48 minutes. So yeah, give it an hour at least, then we can switch it up. All right, let's see here. Hey guys, says Dishter, you weren't here Wednesday, but I was feeling lonely, so I watched your 7th guest video. It was great. What video should I watch now?
This one?
This is a good one to watch right now as we are streaming live. Speaking of video game documentaries, Twitch has a video game documentary about the world's greatest big buck hunter player. Do you know what big buck hunter is?
I'm assuming it's some kind of hunting game.
It's like a bar. It's a gun game that's very popular in bars. That's where you go hunting. And they made a mini documentary about the world's greatest big buck hunter player that they are streaming live throughout the day today. So I know as soon as I get home, I'm going to give that a watch because I'm very curious about that. That was all on you. Right?
I have now given up on this particular run. I got 2 health bars left. I'm not gonna make it far.
That's fine. The wrestling video with Josh is very recommended. We've had a lot of good streams. Go back to our Police Quest streams. Those are always fun.
Yeah.
I like the voices. Speaking of the voices, I see a lot of you asking tonight, and we've been asked a lot on Twitter. And we are looking into Thimbleweed Park, the new Ron Gilbert point-and-click adventure, as far as our next adventure game is concerned, where we do voices.
It's probably voiced.
You think it's voiced?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks old school. Looks old.
Is it voiced?
That would make a big difference. Is Thimbleweed Park voiced?
It's probably a stretch goal they made.
Where you could voice a character? Oh,
Yeah.
it has voices. Okay, well, then we're not doing that. Then we're not going to play it.
I suppose we could mute the. Oh, fuck.
Oh, we can... If we can turn the voices off, then maybe is the answer to that. All right, Anonymous says, Jack, what's going on in the DC TV shows? Any thoughts? P.S. Amy Pascal said the deal they made with Spider-Man has never happened before, and they don't know what is going to happen after Avengers 2 and 3. Oh,
Yeah.
sure. What's going on with the DC TV universe, a.k.a. the Arrowverse? Is a lot of shit. I don't know if we talked about this the other day, about what was happening with Flash and Supergirl. Is both Flash and Supergirl were dealing with some like Debbie Downer relationship problems, and so they dedicated an entire crossover episode with the Flash and Supergirl. That was a musical episode that fixed both of their relationship problems.
All right.
Because tone is important.
Because Buffy the Vampire Slayer did a musical episode once.
Because you know why? Oh, it's like a dead version of you. Did you die there once?
Possibly.
Possibly. Because musicals are fun, and they want to make sure that they're having fun, Rich. That's what those shows are all about. Let's have fun adventures. They even Supergirl and Flash sang a song about being super friends. And it was... I know, Rich doesn't care. But I thought it was adorable. But what is happening right now? Terry Hatcher has shown up on Supergirl, which is great for any old school fans of Lois and Clark. Dean Cain is also a regular guest.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, Linda Carter. Was that the old Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Linda Carter is the president in Supergirl, which is adorable. They're fine shows as long as you're willing to deal with the cheese. They're fine shows because they are cheesy. They are cheesy and they are cheap. The actors are from Glee. The Glee fans wanted it. Oh. It's because Flash was... Oh, was he on Glee? I did not know that. I did not know that. Glee fans were asking for it. Hardcore Glee fans, which I'm sure there's a bunch of them. Did I watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week? Depends. I've seen... I'm keeping up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even though I'm not quite sure why. That's one that I could probably walk away from now and not care.
Yeah.
Marvel's, Disney's ABC presents Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Marvel Universe is really hot. Let's make a show about a bunch of random S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
It could be and has been done well. They had a couple really good seasons where they were doing some fun spy shit, Rich.
It was a dumb idea from the get-go.
Yeah. But they were, you know what? They were doing some fun spy shit, and they had a couple great seasons, and now...
It's like they had a meeting and said, what's the least fun thing we could do with the Marvel license?
No, everyone liked Phil Coulson. And,
Who was dead.
who wasn't dead, or it was dead, but is not dead anymore, according to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And they said, hey, what if we just had a spy show? And it was good for a little bit, and now it's not terribly good anymore. Right now, what we're dealing with is life model decoys, cyborgs that look like humans. And one of the cyborgs built an alternate reality inside of a computer simulation where everything is different. And so a couple of the agents have to go through the computer simulation to try to break out other agents. And it's basically just an excuse to have a what if scenario. And it's all wacky. And it's not great, but it's not the worst.
I did it.
The story that reeks of comic books. Yes. That's exactly what's happening. Because it's a comic book show. Does everyone have an eye patch? You know what? No one has an eye patch currently on ABC Presents Marvel's Disney's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
No one has an eye patch.
Wow.
Someone asked if they all had eye patches. Rich, I was answering a question. Someone had a question about eye patches. An important eye patch question. All right, everyone, let's shut this comic book thing down. Back to words with no pictures. Those are still around too.
Nothing wrong with the words with no pictures.
Well, I guess that's why I think your statement of comic books will one day die is misguided.
All right.
It's been around for a long time.
And how many issues do they sell?
All
in the fucking 60s?
yeah.
It was a letdown if Action Comics only sold 1 million copies. Now they fucking uncork the champagne bottles if they make 30,000.
Still making them. Still making them. They are relatively cheap to produce. There is a market for them. They will be produced. They will be produced. And you will forever have a back catalog that people will enjoy, and that'll bring in new demand for new titles.
Why? They invalidate the continuities all the time. That back catalog is worthless.
That's true.
They devalue that constantly.
Yeah, but then you know what? If Superman fails, right? Then someone finds a back catalog of Superman they really like, then they'll just reboot it with using the continuity that people like at the moment. And burn out a whole new generation of comic book fans. I did recently, I know a lot of people have suggested to me, as far as reading comic books, have suggested Moon Knight. Specifically the 2012 Bendis run of Moon Knight. Which is I've been reading it.
Is it good until Bendis runs it into the ground?
I'm only the first trade in, and it's all right. It's not great. I don't even know if I'd call it good. Like I think all right is under good.
Uh-huh.
It has a very interesting concept. Not knowing anything about Moon Knight. It starts off with Moon Knight talking to Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Captain America.
Uh-huh.
About how he's gonna, and he just moved to LA, and he wants some advice on how to, get started out in LA, and they're helping him out and giving him some advice. But then it is discovered that in actuality, they're not really there, and he's just talking to figures of his imagination.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Parts of his all of
Moon
them,
Knight doesn't Moon Knight have like multiple personality?
and,
Isn't that
and
his
they,
thing?
they manifested into Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Captain America.
Okay.
Um.
What the fuck am I supposed to do here?
Oh my God.
Oh my god, not that.
The problem is that the book just wasn't that interesting. I didn't really care about what he was doing or what his whole backstory thing, and it was like, eh. There were some really good moments in the book, but overall it was kind of a meh situation. Kind of a meh. I also picked up on my I have the Comixology Unlimited thing, so a bunch of comics come with that subscription. and they are rebooting The Shadow. They've rebooted The Shadow.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, how about I'll read The Shadow? That'd be fun, like an old noir detective story, with some mystical elements, but some new art, and that'll be great. The art fucking sucks, and the stories are boring as shit.
Okay.
So, New Shadow sucks. The Shadow sorry if I hiccuped right in your ear. What audio microphone setup are we using? Currently we have Shure SM7Bs that are hooked up to a Zoom H6 that is plugged into the computer. So Shure SM7B, which are, nice condenser mics that are hooked up to our Zoom for individual control over volume. No problem, Sergeant Four-Leaf. Sergeant Four-Leaf is starting a new thing on his YouTube channel where he gets people to talk about bad movies, and then he's going to animate the things you talk about.
Okay.
And so I talked to him the other day about Crazy Fat Ethel, because I thought there were some good visuals in there. And I couldn't think of another movie to talk about. So I was like, let's talk about Crazy Fat Ethel 2.
Yeah.
To be more specific. Yes, I and Razel. That's what we got going on for this. For the episodes, we use lav condenser mics, also hooked up to the Zoom, because the Zoom records separate audio tracks as their own separate audio channels as their own discrete track. And so when I record Rich and I using that, I end up with 2 audio tracks, which is very helpful when editing. Though since we've moved in here, I haven't had to use that as much because it's very quiet in this room. It has saved me hours. It has honestly saved me hours. Not having to edit the audio in our episodes.
Ow. Waste.
Waste. Beat a boo boom. Hold on, what was that? I've been talking about the worst movie last year, Jason Bourne. We certainly did not get kicked out of the big studio. We left on our own accord. We left on our own accord, and it's been great. My name is Tate. I'm sorry. You need a podcast or movie thing. Just make one up. Make one up, and I'll talk to you for an hour. Okay, let's see here. Where are we? Where are we? Let's go. Captain Blue says, speaking of comics, are there any web comics you read? Currently, I keep up with XKCD, Webcomic Name, Extra Fabulous Comics, and Oglaf.
I haven't read it in a while. I used to really like Sluggy Freelance.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't read it in a while. I'm kind of waiting for him to fucking finally finish, and then I'll read it when he's fucking done.
Sure.
Tell the fucking story. Don't drag your feet too much.
Yeah, there's no, webcomics are so hard to keep up with because usually they're uploaded at irregular schedules.
Sluggy's pretty regular. It's been regular forever and a day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That would be nice. It'd be better if they like. Do you know if they have like webcomics? If webcomics had some sort of email list where I'd get emailed the comic every week, that would be great. I don't want to go looking for it every week. I'm lazy. I'm lazy like that, so I'm not currently into any webcomics. Have I read Sweet Tooth? No, I don't think so. I don't think I have read Sweet Tooth. Anonymous says, who did the halbut on the poop deck? Rich?
The what?
Who did the halbut on the poop deck?
What the fuck is that?
Oh. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, Jack, how long does it take for you guys to shoot an episode and then get it uploaded?
How long does it take us to play the game?
That's the real question. That's the real question. So, let's say a game comes out. The last few games, I think we both got...
Day or two after they came out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I want to say like same day. Started playing, then you get 40 hours into the game, minimum.
Yeah.
Right? You get 40 hours into the game. So what's that? 3 days? 4 days? 5 days? 40 hours is a lot.
Well, I'm not gonna make myself rush through it. I need to actually try and enjoy the game.
Right, of course. And so that's the thing. And we also have, other jobs.
Right.
And basic lives. And so probably about a week, and then we shoot the episode, and then it takes me another 30, 40 hours to edit an episode. So, average turnaround time is about 2 weeks for episodes, and that's when we're being really good. We Horizon Zero Dawn, we pushed real hard and got that one out fairly fast. I was really happy with our turnaround time there, but I pushed myself. Like I edited when I shouldn't have been editing. I was staying up late. I was wrecking myself. But we got a good turnaround on that. I want to say that was up 2 days after we shot it. So that's pretty good, but normal turnaround is probably 2 weeks. One of these days we need to hire a producer. Someone whose job it is to get us advanced copies of games.
Yeah, I don't want to be, obligated to anybody.
That's why we get a producer.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we talk to game companies, then we'll be obligated.
We would stop getting copies sooner or later.
But for a little bit, it'd be nice. Don't you think?
Yeah.
For a little bit, it would be real nice.
All right, I ended on a half-decent run. I'm done, unless you want to play for a bit.
No, I'm good. How long did the Mass Effect Andromeda edit was significantly easier to edit. We shot that on Thursday, and it was uploading Friday night.
I could never actually do an Andromeda review.
No.
I could never do it. It would just end up being I fuck Mass Effect 3. I hate Mass Effect 3.
Right.
This is what Mass Effect 3 did.
Right.
That's all it would be.
I agree. Jack confirmed for payola? No, I wouldn't, unless they were paying a lot of money. And then I'd take their payola, and as soon as I was out of the contract for whatever the payola, all I would do is talk about that payola. It'd have to be a lot of money, though.
That's exactly what you gave us in that review, Rich. I know. I'm saying an actual review. That's why I couldn't actually review it.
Wind Waker's a great game.
I'm really, legitimately not at all interested in Andromeda. I don't give a shit what the fuck they did with it.
Yeah, neither am I. It's not going to happen. We're never...
You were never a fan of it. Yeah, you weren't a fan of the series in the first damn place.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, I have no stake in this, so it's just not going to happen. Just not gonna happen. Yes, people will always bug Rich about Mass Effect. Always.
I know.
It's your thing, but you're done with it. This made me want Taco Bell. Oh, I fucking love Taco Bell. That was the greatest. You went out and get all those tacos for the Demolition Man review, and we just
Oh,
ate
it's the
them.
worst. I hate Taco Bell.
Really?
I hate Taco Bell.
It's one of my favorite fast
We have a
foods.
perfectly good Mexican restaurant
Yeah.
in Milwaukee.
We have several really good Mexican restaurants in Milwaukee. Fuego isn't even the best, man. You go, just up the road from me. That's you can get authentic Mexican restaurant, like served on paper plates. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I still love Taco Bell.
Horse piss and vinegar. That's Taco Bell.
What?
Ugh.
What? I love them. Tacos.
Can we talk about Reese's Pieces?
Reese's Pieces. Do you enjoy Reese's Pieces?
No, I'm talking about the review.
You're allergic to peanuts.
I'm allergic to nuts. I'm pretty sure I'm okay with peanuts because they're not technically nuts.
Oh, they're legumes.
I just don't like them. I don't like
Sure.
peanut butter. It's
Okay.
like,
Do you know that there's no chocolate around a Reese's Pieces?
oh, yeah, I can see that. I can see
A
that.
lot of people think there is. It's a candy coating around peanut butter.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, but you had something specific about Reese's Pieces.
I hate Taco Bell, so I bought a 12-pack. It was for work!
It was Joe. Did you not
Demolition
get to-
Man is famous for the fucking Taco Bell tie-in.
That's the joke.
But no, Reese's Pieces. We're talking about earliest product placement. You know, was the thing that came up. Like
Wait,
the
hold-
earliest.
Hold on. Tofu A says the border is 5 minutes outside my door, and I'll just sit here silently and smile at this conversation. Could you imagine just cross the border, get some nice authentic Mexican food? That'd be so fucking great. They have great Mexican food in California.
Mexican food isn't Mexican. It's Texan.
Tex-Mex.
Called Mexican. It's Texan.
Well, no, but I meant like authentic. I like
Sure.
authentic Mexican food.
Well, it's not. It's inauthentic Mexican because Mexican food isn't really Mexican. It's Texan. If you get Mexican food in Mexico, it's inauthentic.
I don't understand.
It's a Texas invention. Tacos.
Tacos are not a Texas.
It's a Texas invention.
You're crazy.
No, I'm not.
You're a crazy man.
It's a Texas invention.
Is this a true thing?
Yes.
Where is this? Where is this from?
This is from something I read because my brain soaks in knowledge.
You've read.
And I don't remember
somewhere-
where I read that, but I read that.
Was this back when that area of Texas was owned by Mexico?
Possible, but it was invented by the poor white people who live there.
Because Tex-Mex is great. Rich is making shit up. You're wrong, Rich. False, Rich. You are wrong. Hard tacos. Yeah. See, quit trolling, Rich. Fake news. You know what? I'm gonna need some citations on this, Rich.
All right.
You know what, Rich? You're gonna have homework.
I just wanted to talk about the fucking Reese's Pieces and E.T. That's all I wanted to talk about.
We're talking about tacos now.
You keep talking about the worst Mexican food of all time.
Okay, product placement. The whole point of tacos and Taco Bell was the blatant and unapologetic
Yeah.
product placement in Demolition Man.
And I said I thought it was the first time a lot of people really truly noticed product placement.
Yeah, and
And then I brought up Back to the Future as the earliest one I can think of.
you remember.
I
The one
said
you
that.
remember, right?
Chat was like, E.T., Reese's Pieces, E.T. I'm well aware that Reese's Pieces were E.T. I could be wrong. I'm gonna say, I could easily be wrong. I don't know if that's officially product placement. Product placement. The company has to go to you and says, we want you to feature our product
Right.
in your movie. We're going to give you money if you put a Sony Vaio. Well, I guess Sony owns the company. They wouldn't give money. But we'll give you money if you have the character drinking a Pepsi. If the character's favorite drink is Pepsi, we'll give you $30,000, $300, whatever.
Right, and often it's also accompanied by a cross-marketing campaign.
Yeah.
Where it's one of the most famous examples would be like whatever car is in a James Bond movie, right? Like
Yeah.
Lexus. And then there'll also be Lexus commercials promoting the James Bond movie, but also the
Yeah.
car. So not only is product placement paying for the movie, but there's usually a strong cross-promotional campaign.
Okay. So I fully was aware of E.T. when I said that about Back. People are mentioning Superman 2. wasn't thinking about that.
Right.
But I mean, as far as E.T., that definitely was in my mind. But to my knowledge, Reese's Pieces and E.T. came about because Spielberg wanted to use the candy for E.T. He wanted to use M&Ms.
Right.
So he went to M&M's and said, "Can I use this?"
Mm-hmm.
They said no. He went to Reese's Pieces and said, can I get permission to use Reese's Pieces? They said yes. That's not product placement. That's not a paid advertisement. Now, I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong and money was involved. If it is, I wasn't aware of it.
Oh, sure. Well, and you know what? One of the easiest ways to figure that out is before E.T. came out, was there a cross-promotional campaign with Reese's Pieces? Going like, Reese's Pieces, the taste of the galaxy.
They had ads with like a fake E.T. I remember that. They had like an E.T. knockoff alien character.
Oh, yeah? Interesting.
I don't know that they ever officially...
Well, that's because that would,
used E.T., yeah.
you know, that would help our figuring this out. Like a Bud Light and Transformers product? No.
So the question with E.T. was money involved?
Right. Was money involved or just permission given?
Yes. Right. And to my knowledge, which could easily be wrong, I thought it was just permission given.
Right. And that's very possible.
That is not product placement.
Correct. I'm with you, Rich. 100%.
Reese's sold heavily after the movie. Yeah, that has nothing to do with whether or not they paid to have Reese's Pieces in the movie as an advertisement, though.
Sure.
That could be when people realize the value of putting your product in a movie.
After the movie went big, Reese's was like, hey, can we make commercials using your alien? We let you use our candy.
Yeah. So E.T. could have easily have spawned product placement. That doesn't mean that it was in and of itself product placement.
Right. Right. Yeah, I like Reese's Pieces. I like all the Reese's stuff. Like, peanut butter cups are one of my favorite candies. Ghostbusters had Camel cigarettes.
Once again, I mean, everything's a product. You almost can't avoid having some kind of product show up in your movie. The question is, did Camel pay them to use the cigarettes? That's the question.
Or did they get permission saying, hey, I smoke Camel, the character smokes.
Is that okay?
We don't want to use, Ghostbusters brand cigarettes. Right. I like Reese's Pieces. You know what's really great, actually? You mix up Reese's Pieces and M&M's together. Then you get a little chocolate and peanut butter in every bite. Mix them in a bowl together. You're welcome, everyone. You're wrong. What's Rich wrong about now? Product placement or Mexican food not being from Mexico?
I'm wrong about the first example of product placement that I can remember.
Yeah.
I didn't say Back to the Future was.
Also, you said the earliest one you can remember.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That doesn't matter.
Which means for you as a viewer.
Oh, God.
I after that, Jay cut it out. I was talking about the first time I noticed product placement was in the John Travolta, Kirstie Alley movie, Look Who's Talking.
Yeah.
They had like a little dinner scene, and every one of the products was center frame. Like a box of Cheerios, and they're also having Pepsi with their box of Cheerios and Wonder Bread. It was like a stand. So the first time I noticed it versus the first time it happening, very different things. Captain. Oh wait. Nope. Going back to comics, says Rebel Base. Rich, have you seen the teaser for season 2 of Preacher? It looks like they're picking up where the comics started. I loved season 1, and I'm looking forward to next season. Did you watch season 1?
No, because it seems like they changed so fucking much. I wasn't interested.
Ah, okay. Well, it sounds like season 2.
And like I said, I'm not convinced because I'm convinced in my head that the studio isn't going to want to put a negative spin on religion. We don't want to offend people.
Right.
And it's going to end up being a positive, happy, find your faith thing in the end. I am like 90% convinced that's what's going to happen at the end of Preacher.
Sure.
So I'm not chomping at the bits to watch the Preacher.
Well, there you go. No bit chomping here, everybody. Anonymous says, called in sick for work as soon as I saw the stream was on. Well worth it. Anonymous, get to work, man. What are you doing? Speaking of faith and positive messages, I have an announcement for the chat that I know is very important to them.
Yeah.
I finally saw Noah.
Yeah.
I've had it on my shelf now for months. I borrowed it from the studio. Darren Aronofsky's retelling of the biblical epic Noah and his Ark, starring Russell Crowe, a beautifully aged Jennifer Connelly. She looks amazing still. Emma Watson, Hermione, a.k.a. Hermione. And someone who looks a lot like, who's in The Wrestler? Mickey Rooney?
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke, not Mickey Rooney. Someone who looks
Mickey Rooney as the wrestler. Now that's comedy.
What can I say? I'm just a piece of meat. Oh, I'm just a piece of meat.
How old is he? Like 98 years old?
Right.
Starring in The Wrestler? Jumping off of ladders? I want to see this.
Right? Mickey Rourke, someone who looks a lot like Mickey Rourke, but is not Mickey Rourke. Also, Sir Anthony Hopkins is in it.
Preacher TV show doesn't have as much juvenile humor. Well, fuck that! I love their dark, silly humor.
That's kind of the point.
There was a character called Arseface.
He's in the show.
Whose face looks like an arse.
Yeah, he's in the show.
That sounds like juvenile humor to me.
Yeah. I don't know. He was in the pilot. I only saw the pilot. He was in the pilot, and he had an ass for a face. So, yeah. But so I finally saw Noah. And you know what? It's an alright movie.
All right.
It features giant rock monsters, which is very funny. But
that is not an accurate depiction of the biblical flood, Jack.
well, here's the thing. So the Bible mentions that before the time of the flood, there were giants. That's what it says in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say what kind of giants, and so Darren Aronofsky said that the giants were rock monsters. They were, and what they actually were, Rich, were fallen angels that were trying to help mankind but failed.
All right.
It was neat. It was a fun movie,
right.
you know. And you know, for someone who spent so much time in church at Catholic school, it was very earnest. Noah. It was done in a non-mockery tone. But also it's ridiculous. Like, all the animals come on the ship he built, and it's ridiculous. You know?
Yeah.
Noah's a vegetarian for some reason. That's very important to him, being a vegetarian. I don't know how accurate that is, but
Not very, be my guess.
but you have this one. It's not a great movie. I think it's a pretty good movie. What half of it feels like is if Christopher Nolan made it, because like they spend so much time trying to like authenticate what Noah could have done and how it could have been possible. So it felt very Chris Nolan-y. But then you also had these really small, intense character moments that's what Darren Aronofsky is really good at. Like, think about all your favorite scenes in The Wrestler, and it's just a tiny little intense character moment, and there's nothing big happening around.
Yeah,
Just people giving speeches, and you feel it. And so, like, the second half of the movie is a lot, like, when they're in the Ark, it's just a lot of people giving speeches, and it's great. Jennifer Connelly is fucking great in it. She gives a speech, and she's sad and angry, and snot and tears are coming all out of her, and I loved it. It was great. Hermione gives a great performance.
Okay.
Emma Watson. Overall, I enjoyed it. Like, and I was like, it's fine. It's a fine movie.
Real quick.
Real quick.
I'm going to jump back real quick. Person in the chat whose name scrolled up ages ago.
Sorry.
If you hate the Preacher comic book, I really don't give a fuck about your opinion on the TV show. Because the Preacher comic book is one of the best fucking things ever made.
Uh-huh.
Now back to movies we have watched recently.
I just watched Noah recently. A lot of people are disagreeing with me, but I I thought it was a fine. I'm not saying it's a great movie. I think it's a fine movie, and I enjoyed watching it.
I last night I rewatched Babe.
Babe,
Babe is a fantastic movie.
the movie about the talking
Yeah,
pig
the movie about the talking pig.
who herds sheep.
But that movie is not afraid to be dark and honest. It's like, yeah, the farmer, yeah, he eats the cute little animals. Does he feel guilty about it? Nope. Nope, he eats the cute little animals. That movie is not afraid to go to some really dark places for a movie that on the surface is as cute as it is. I love Babe.
Out of we talk about a lot of things here, Rich.
Uh-huh.
Out of all the things in the universe to talk about, I just never thought I would hear that come out of your mouth. I'll be honest with you. The defense of Babe. It's been so long since I've seen Babe. I think my children are too old for it now. But yeah.
Yes, I know. Babe by George Miller. He didn't direct it, though. He wrote it and produced it.
Okay, that would make sense.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have his aesthetic, but it has his... I could see it being a George Miller. All right. Noah is a very underrated movie. It's fine. Noah is this... If you take away all of the bigness to Noah, it's this story about a man's faith and trying to interpret the unknowable word of God, right?
yeah.
The second half of Noah, especially, like after he's done building the ark, I won't spoil it in case anyone needs to see it. He needs to figure out what God wants.
By the way, when you interpret the unknowable will of God,
Yeah.
that's when beheadings start happening.
Right.
This is not a thing you want to be doing.
But it's a movie, Rich. It's fake. It's all fake. And so we can get into the fake movie. And so, but that's all the second half of Noah is him trying to make this decision about interpreting the unknowable word of God. And it's really fun. Like it's fun. It's fun because it's intense and it's fake. It's all fake, Rich.
Crops aren't growing as fast as last year.
Yeah.
I guess the gods just want more impalings.
2 years ago, I remember that Timmy boy impaled himself. The crops growed really well that year. Do you think the impalings had anything to do with that? Well, let's test it out. Well, we impaled another kid. The crops grew great this year. I guess it's a thing now.
Well, this year, though, we impaled people and they're not growing so fast. We got to impale more people.
That's definitely what needs to happen. I mean, you know what, Rich? That's called logic.
How many virgins do we have?
30? Why? What do we need?
We'll need about 10 of them.
10? Okay, great. Does it show when Noah gets drunk and lays half naked in a tent? Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's a fact movie about something believe is absolute fact. Well, right. Like I said, I think they handled it as this all
The people who believe it are fact are angry at the movie because it's inaccurate.
Not, you know what? I didn't find that.
No?
Because I was looking up because I was curious. I was like, what are the differences, right? And I found a ton of Christian websites that were like, here's what they got right and here's what they got wrong. But here's why they interpreted that. Like it was a lot of civil discussion.
I thought Ken Ham was really against it.
Well, Ken Ham's just an asshole. Ken Ham is against everything. That man makes no sense.
Jack, I don't think you understand how perfectly Babe ends.
Wait, Bahram you. I remember Bahram you.
The dead silence, though, in the fucking state, like everyone starts off laughing because how this pig's gonna herd sheeps.
Right, I remember.
And then the deathly silence followed by the sheep slowly getting in a single file line and just doing their routine. Nice wide shot of a stunned silent crowd. It's the best thing ever. It was perfect. He closes after he marches the peach into the pen and the sheep into the pen. He closes the door and they cut to a wide shot of the whole thing and you can hear the latch clack from the wide shot. It's brilliant. That'll do, pig.
That'll do, pig.
That'll do.
Are you saying I need to rewatch Babe?
Yes, I think honestly, yes.
Yeah.
If you don't love Babe, I think you need to rewatch it. I rewatched it last night. I loved it. I fucking loved it.
What a strange choice.
Karen was celebrating. Karen got a new job.
Yeah.
She wanted to watch Babe. I'm like, I watch Babe.
All right. I find that so weird, but I mean, I'm with you, Rich. I'll give it a chance, is what I'll say. A review. You want a review of Babe? Ooh, probably not.
I'd consider it. I would totally consider it.
Really? Well, I guess I haven't seen it. What if I watch it?
You haven't seen it?
No, recently. I haven't seen it
Okay,
recently.
okay.
Of course, I've seen it. Everybody's seen Babe. That'd be a hard one to convince. I think that would be hard to convince my kids to watch, because I'd want to watch it with my kids.
You can totally have them watch. I mean, it gets dark, but
no.
good children's fables get dark.
No, it's appropriate for them to watch. I'm saying like, hey kids, let's watch a movie about a talking pig. I think like they're too old for it now.
I think it would charm them.
Yeah.
I think it would charm them.
All right.
They're not too old for it.
They think
They're not. They,
Apparently,
they
no
think
one's
that.
too old for it because Rich Evans loves it. Review of
And
Babe.
I'm the oldest man in the world.
You are.
so-
You're 83 years old, and you love Babe. From the creators of Mad Max, Babe. What was it that they were talking to me about the other day, my kids? Oh,
It's on the Netflix.
oh, well then it's definitely going to happen because then I don't have to pay for it. Or I'm already paying for it, I guess, to be more accurate. My oldest, who's 8 now, we were talking about stuff like to watch it, and he goes, Dad, have you ever heard of a movie called The Goonies? And I'll recreate this for the camera because I think I was wearing.
Yeah.
What? This big smile on my face.
We watched Goonies some years ago.
Goonies is
great.
Goonies is one of those films that I think every kid needs to experience because
It was wonderful when I was a kid.
well, that's the thing, and it's a gateway film. Like a lot of action, a lot of disturbing imagery. You have criminals that are ready to kill kids. That's a perfect gateway movie. And so he's like, "You want to watch the Goonies?" And I was like, I was like, "Fuck yeah, we can watch the Goonies anytime you want." And he's like, "All right."
When it comes to 80s movies, Goonies isn't near the top. I don't hate it. It's not near the top.
Great for kids.
Sure.
Great
sure.
for kids. It's not great. It's fantastic, says Joe Kitty. Yeah, I remember it fondly.
Loved it as a kid.
Of course.
Absolutely loved it.
Every kid loves the Goonies, Rich.
Watched it as an adult. Didn't love it quite so as much.
All right. I saw Goonies 9 times in the theater. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch Goonies with the boys. Little what was it called? Sloth. Little sloth action, little human deformity, Rich. Always great for the children. Always. Hammer Camp says, you fucks. I enjoy sending you guys snacks. Any requests? What do you usually keep around the shop?
I don't know, whatever. You're free to send us whatever the fuck you want.
Surprise us.
I'm violently allergic to nuts and seafood.
Okay, don't send us those.
And cats, but I don't think they make snacks out of cats. Cat hairballs. New from Pringles.
Don't send us anything made out of cats. Captain Blue 42 says, me personally, I loved your review. Speaking of The Witness, did the Hidden Layer talk mention the underground theater with the live-action clips, including the one from the 1978 BBC show's Connections? It did not talk about that, no. It briefly mentioned another layer of puzzles that is never talked about in the game that people have to find for themselves, in which I said to myself, oh, it's interesting that they added another layer, but man, that seems like the same tedious bullshit.
Yeah.
So,
Chad, I'm not sure I'm even in the mood for XCOM tonight. There's been too much Zelda. And I think going to XCOM would just give me whiplash.
okay, sure.
That's why I wanted to just let's do a platformer, just something simple.
Yeah.
I just feel like you just feel like gibbering tonight. I just felt like gibbering.
Okay. So that's the plan.
That's the plan. We just gibber.
I feel like we've been gibbering for a while.
We have. I have not touched this game for a while. In all honesty. I don't know if that makes for a terrible stream or what. Why don't I just put on a Naughty Dog game? We'll tape the fucking forward.
Yes. First of all, that's a great idea.
We can download the Last of Us. That's on Steam, right? Just get some Scotch tape, the forward button.
I can play something. I can play something and talk. I can do something mindless. Hold on. Ugh. I know how to do mindless. I can talk and be mindless. What's going on here? Okay. All right. Return to Ark. I love gibbering. That's what I come for. Yeah, but it's also nice to have visuals for when we stop gibbering or there are pauses in gibbering. All right. We can do something here. Here, you take this. I left off on Captain Blue 42, so Atomic Mousetrap is next. Take this while I get a game for us to play.
Where are we at? I'm talking about Captain Blue. Is the one you read?
I read Captain Blue.
Okay.
Where's the mouse? Are we out of batteries?
Oh no, are we out of batteries? Or is it over here on the screen? Move it around.
We're out of
Yeah,
batteries.
just get some new batteries. It'll be fine.
Maybe you left it on. Maybe I left it on. Oh, wait. Oh, no, or it wasn't turned on. Oh, it was turned
There's
off.
a switch.
It was turned off is the problem.
Sonic Mousetrap says, finish Suicide Squad and Banana Splits crossover.
What?
Related question. Have you ever been upset that something turned out to be really good? No, that would be foolish.
Have we ever been upset? Here's what has made me upset.
Even if I don't like something, I don't get upset when other people like something I don't like. It's like, this is good. Are you mad about it? No, I just enjoy it. I don't give a fuck.
Right? No, here's something that has made me upset. I see some people suggested that we play Spelunky tonight, which of course is a game that I love so much. Spelunky.
Yeah.
Do we have that downloaded? I'll just play Spelunky.
Yeah, that sounds great.
You know what? I fucking love Spelunky. And now that I've talked about Spelunky, kind of want to play Spelunky. I was going to just do Binding of Isaac, but it's been a while since we've done Spelunky, and I'm sure that will download fairly quickly.
7 hours.
It will download in 7 hours. Well, you know what? We'll start now. So here's the thing about Spelunky. Spelunky, one of my favorite games. I've beat all of the little mini things. I've beaten all of the levels. I've gotten all of the goals. You know, if you beat it in under a certain amount of time, if you beat it with X amount of money. One of my favorite games. I stayed away from Spelunky for so long because of its cartoonish art style.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, this is gonna look at that dumb art style. This is gonna suck. And so I was upset that it turned out to be so good because I stayed away from it for so long. Does that make any sense?
Okay.
So that's why I was upset that it was so good. Because I could have been enjoying this good thing before, and I stayed away from it for superficial reasons. I judged it by its cover, which, by the way, is a perfectly appropriate thing to do because that's what the cover's there for. It's meant to help sell you on the product.
This happened with me.
Yeah?
Fight Club I avoided. I thought, like, pit fighting kind of movie. You know, like,
Oh,
like,
sure.
I thought it'd be it's like a blood sport or something. I don't know. I avoided that for far longer than I should have.
You thought it was like action schlock?
Yeah, yeah. He's got to win the big fight at the end. Yeah, I get it. Nope. Nope.
Very different movie. You know what that is? A very different movie. Spelunky. Hey, Spelunky has finished downloading. That's great. Boop. And then we go not over here. That's not what we want. Chatty, that's what we want. Go. Channel admin. Checking in on Spelunky.
Joe Kitty 001 says, hey guys, you ever think about doing a best of the best episode, BOTP, or to be less interesting because the movies are good? Let's kind of review.
Wait, so what would...
Like a best of the worst, only it's best of the best. We watch good movies that wouldn't be anywhere near as entertaining. I don't think. And it kind of defeats the purpose of looking for new, good, cheap schlock.
you have to figure out why is it that you watch Best of the Worst, right?
Yeah.
Why do we have fun making it? Because of all the jokes, and you won't get those jokes when we watch only good movies. We'll just be, maybe there'll be some good technical talk, like, oh, this is good because of this,
Right.
but you won't get the jokes.
Isn't that review?
And that's kind of review, right?
Not that I didn't find flaws in Demolition Man, which I still like overall.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, hold on. Spelunk. What? Fatal error.
The other thing people ask about is like a best of the worst. Like, pit 3 movies we really liked against each other, and that would just be redundant. Because we've already talked about those movies.
Right. Oh, yeah, there's no, and people are like, what about like a worst of the worst? Like you take, 3 losers and try to figure out what's the best. It's like, once we've seen a movie, the magic's gone.
Vaguely, very early on, I toyed with the idea of suggesting something like a tournament. Like all the movies we liked, and we'll do a tournament.
Right. Okay.
It wouldn't work for that reason. I only wanted to do it because I had a name for it.
Okay.
March Badness.
Nice.
Yeah, March Badness.
If we ever do like a basketball themed one, that's what we could call it. Right. All right, hold on. We're gonna fix this. I see it's all.
Forgot about the Demo Man sex scene. Way to be thorough, review. What do you want us to say about that scene? That's interesting. Yeah, that scene happened. We could mention that it happened, but I got nothing particularly interesting to say about that scene.
And I want to say like we did talk about it, but
I don't know that we did. If we did, it came up in passing. Like, how about that? Yeah, they had that sex scene, and it wasn't like, what do you say about it? Yeah, they did that.
Why aren't you? Sorry, buddy. Hold on. I'm trying to make this. For some reason, OBS isn't being nice.
Jack, don't forget to set HUD to pro mode.
Why? What happens then?
I don't fucking know.
Great. Okay, I set it to pro mode.
Sean says, if you have not read it, I would recommend Superman American Alien. It's like someone asked, what if Superman was raised in Kansas by loving parents and had human flaws? So much better than Snyder. Do you know who did Superman American Alien? I don't know if you're aware of this.
Why, Rich? Who could have written Superman American Alien?
Why, that was Max Landis.
What? Do you mean friend of Red Letter Media, Max Landis?
We have a signed copy of the first issue here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Karen loves it. American Alien.
And it was all right. Like he actually brought like an advanced copy of like issue
2 or 3. I forget which one it was, but yeah.
When he was here, and yeah, it's fine. It's ew.
Karen loves it.
We are having so many issues getting Spelunky to play properly.
Put it in windowed mode.
It is in windowed mode.
It is. Monitor capture. Is it borderless window?
Oh, wait, I thought it was in windowed mode.
Go to, no. Go to,
Oh. Wait.
you might have to restart. Go back to graphics, what happens? Alright, go to full screen, off.
Full screen off.
Select. There you go.
There.
Change the resolution. So the screen will be embiggened. 1080.
Whoa, 1080. Apply screen settings. Okay.
There you go.
Great. Now we're getting this. Here we go. Come over here. Come over here.
Anonymous, I got your tip, and that's, you know what? That's just too bizarre for me to read. I know you're trying to be funny, but it's vaguely insulting. So, yeah, thanks.
That's fair.
I'm not sure how to take this, Jack. I'm not at all if that's just weird humor or insulting humor. I'm not sure. And this is why our fans scare me.
Huh.
Some of them.
Yeah, that's fair. You don't have to read it.
Yeah, okay.
You do you, Rich. You do you. There it is. There it is. Now it's working.
This lack of hearing a voice, I'm not sure if that's meant to be insulting or not. I'm not.
Okay, here we go.